but comparing this to a comic book. Stop comparing WandaVision to the comic book. I do not want a rehash and a retelling of the same old stories. Give me something different, and be in mind, this got to meet the mass. The comic books is strictly for the comic book people. Now, the TV universe have to reach the mass. So please leave me alone with that House of M. It pulls some of the features, but it's not. Since episode 1 of WandaVision, I was being scrutinized, right? So I actually watched episode 1 of WandaVision, episode 2 of WandaVision, and I still didn't make a video for WandaVision. I watched episode 3, and then about time episode 4 came out, when they got through with the nostalgia parts of it, well, it's still nostalgic, but after the nostalgic part of it, when they start going into some futuristic stuff with Marvel and the universe and what's actually going on and how she could actually warp reality, I was like, yes, now I can make a video, because I know all of my friends, even though I was invested in WandaVision, most of my friends wasn't. So with that being said, we about to go diving into episode 5, and I'm gonna do a quick recap for all of my people that haven't watched it yet, or if you have watched, you want to get a recap so you understand my point of view. Let's do this. I'm diving. WandaVision. Whoa, what's good with your YouTube and YouTube busted? Your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. And appreciate you for coming rock with me, like, sharing, and subscribing. And if you have an opinion about the situation that's going on, leave a comment below. I'm gonna read it, because when you comment, our collective minds put together, we bring synergy. This how we starting the video off?
Double cup, feel it right. Told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night.
Let's talk about some Easter eggs first, since it's fresh on my memory and I just watched it. Literally watched the video, came out here to start talking to y'all. So the first thing that I noticed on episode 5 was the neighbor, Agnes. She was always on the perfect time, the perfect moment, the perfect scenario with the perfect thing. Every time, exact, on point. And Vision noticed that. So when Vision and Wanda was playing with the kids, and they did their little dance off with the kids, trying to see who can get them to go to sleep first, and you know, the little stuff that they said about that was when Agnes walked in to help them, she did a whole scene talking about cut, right? So she was actually trying to cut the script, and then you want to start over. That was the first red flag. But what a lot of people haven't noticed, I ain't watched no other YouTubers yet, so this is straight from out of my, you know what I'm saying, my watching, right? So the first thing that I noticed, right, was the kids got silent. Everything around got silent. Wanda looked at her and was like, "What did you say?" And everything got silent. Then after that, she tried to play it off when she talked to Vision, and she was like, "Oh, you know, such and such." But the thing that I noticed was everything was silent. The kids was silent. Everything was silent. Everything was good. That's when she kind of like magically was here, magically was there. So I'm looking at Agnes like she is playing a bigger part than they trying to say on the show. But like a lot of YouTubers, we starting to figuring it out who Agnes Hardness is. So at the same time, Wanda was using her magic in front of Agnes, like, and then became freely with doing it. Like, hey, we could just do it in front of her. It's no problem. It's no biggie. We could do it. And what I noticed about it was Agnes act like nothing was wrong, nothing was the matter, and you could tell that she looking like, huh, got it, and then she'll keep going, right? So she was looking at everything from a distance, and you could see Agnes was there, but then she wasn't there. But one thing that I did notice about it, this was in the trailers, right, where Agnes was a witch, and Vision touched her, and she came back to life and say, "Ain't you dead? Because everybody dead," or something like that. So she was actually conscious, but self-conscious. So I don't think it's really Agnes that's a part of what's going on. I think that she just a willing participant that just gonna go along with it, and more the other people that's a part of it is not willing to be a part of it, but they're being forced to be a part of it. So I think a lot of that gonna have to go all the way back down to the main person, and that's Wanda. I think she's gonna be the villain. And I want to talk to everybody about this Easter egg when Agnes had asked her a question about, do you want to take it from the top, and Wanda just shut everything off, like pause for a moment, and everything just came to a complete halt. Second suspect is going to be the twins, right? Now, the reason why I'm saying the twins is going to be the second suspects, because Wanda magic did not work on the twins. See, a lot of people might have didn't notice. She was just joking around like, "Oh, y'all be quiet," and then they wouldn't be quiet, still yelling, still yelling, still yelling. Then all of a sudden, the twins wasn't quiet, and Vision noticed that, and then they look around, the kids the age 5 years, that's when they showed you they had the 1, 2, 5 birthday party, so they had all 5 years of party all in one, right? So I was looking at the twins, and they was then they were showing like the twins were standing in front of the dock, you know, the Full House and Roseanne era. You know how they were jumping through eras, and on the TV show, so they in a Full House and Roseanne era. That's what I'm just going to call it, just a short term. Okay, now back to the twins, right? So with the twins, when she couldn't use the magic and they were showing like the dog, then there come Agnes again with the perfect time at the perfect moment, bringing the dog cage, and Vision was noticing all these things. Now to see the killer part about it was, what I noticed is when the twins wanted to age up an extra 5 years, they did it on their own. It didn't have nothing to do with Wanda, because Wanda wasn't trying to let them grow up, but she couldn't stop them. So she realized and they able to have magic abilities of their own. So she don't have full control over the kids, but she trying to be a great mother and teach them the right way, right? That was the second thing. That was the Easter egg about it, that she has no control over the twins. And Marie Rambeau, when she was on the outside world, she confirmed my theory about when whatever comes out the bubble still could survive outside the bubble, right? Because she showed that with her clothes, you know what I'm saying? Spoiler at the ending, right? So boom, you were able to put the whole line together that these kids that came out of nowhere, and don't mind forget about the fact of they had everybody face, you know what I'm saying, post on the board who they real person, what the real person was, but Agnes and Ralph, who's supposed to be her husband, that haven't been seen yet on the show, right? So we see all of these different formats going on. With the twins, they was able to see their dog and ask them, spoiler, they got the dog. All this happening one day. The dog passed away. Agnes back again at the perfect time, at the perfect moment, grabbed the dog and let them know that the dog didn't make it or whatever like that. And the twins was telling their mama that she could bring the dog back to life if they wanted to, but she was trying to teach them a lesson, right? So the other Easter egg about that was, well, too, is she can't control her kids. She don't have magic over them. So if they get out of that and go into the real world, they're gonna really exist, right? So anything inside that bubble, I'm believing if it leave out the bubble, even with Vision, that he gonna actually exist as who he was. Now speaking about Vision, a little thing where I think they should have put at the end game for Easter egg, not an Easter egg, what they call end credit scene, right? So they could have put this out the end credit scene when Wanda was going and breaking into the thing and she stole Vision body, right? So they actually took that and they put it inside this WandaVision because it'll make more sense without spoiling the whole WandaVision first 3 or 4 episodes, right? So boom, when I seen that she went and grabbed a body of Vision, which I kind of figured would happen, she brought Vision back to life. A lot of people probably gonna be wondering why she didn't just do that the first time when Thanos snapped the stone out of his head, right? So if you were actually listen to Monica Rambeau, she actually talked about her powers is more like a vibe level and how she feeling. Like that's why they can intensify, because she don't have really control over how she feel, right? And how she feel can make her powers stronger, right? So that's what she going through. And they threw a little Easter egg to me like, oh, I thought it was Captain Marvel. Nope. Thanos knocked her out of existence. He pulled that I think it was the Power Stone, grabbed it in his hand, and bow, no more Captain Marvel. But Wanda, she was about to tear Thanos a new asshole. You see how I put that in? But anyway, though, yeah, I was looking at it from a perspective of she has no control over the twins. Okay, Vision, she'd have brought back to life. Not anything that's inside of this universe if it comes out this universe. Oh, and another thing, the jump rope was another indicator too. When the beekeeper, he had a hazmat suit on, but when he came into a universe, he turned into a beekeeper with a jump rope. It was actually the wire, and then when the wire came into a universe, it became a jump rope. Now the other indicator was when a jump rope fell out of the universe, it still was a jump rope. So anything that goes into this universe, when it get put out, it actually could sustain. So one of the powers, it actually manifests to a point where it brings stuff into existence, right? So with that being said, we're gonna hop into this third one, which is Quicksilver's back. I know everybody is probably happy to hear about that, and the way they brought him back, they put it in a term that blew my mind, right? So it was on the outside in the real world that they was watching the WandaVision show and they seen Quicksilver. So when they seen Quicksilver, they was like, is that one of the Maximus brother? And then all of a sudden it was the Quicksilver, but this the Catch-22. It's the Quicksilver from the Fox Marvel universe, which, if a lot of people don't know the scenario, this is from my perspective and my perspective only, so I'm not responsible for the truth that you may or may not hear, right? So Disney and Fox, when they had their own Marvel universes, okay, over here on the Fox universe, what they did was they took Pietro, and when they had him growing up and they showed him with Magneto as a child, right? And then on the MCU, the Disney universe, they actually showed like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, right? They literally showed those two together. But in the MCU, they killed off Quicksilver, right? But in the Fox universe, Quicksilver survived and lived. Now check this Catch-22 out. Now in this universe, if you would have noticed, one of kids got killed, right? And one of those kids, that I think, in my perspective, that was Scarlet Witch herself, right? So in a Fox universe and in a Marvel universe, they was going head to head with each other. So Fox killed off Scarlet Witch, right? And the MCU killed off Quicksilver. Now that the Fox universe is a company inside of Disney now, so they have all the rights to all of that. They went into that universe, pulled out that Quicksilver, brought them into the MCU, and then the killer part was, in the real word, they said they seen him and they said, oh, did they recast Quicksilver? I was like mind blown that they bust this universe open like that. Like Wanda just manifest him into from out the Fox universe into this universe, and just the way it bust open that multiverse, just a little peephole right there, just to show you a peep of her power. It was just, man, you see the excitement that I have. Let's jump into some more Easter eggs or little things that I noticed on the first go round. Okay, I got it. The last thing that I want to touch on is Wanda Maximoff herself and her knowledge of this pocket reality, right? What they calling the hex, the hexagon hex. But anyway, the reason I was saying about Wanda herself, because she's aware of everything that's going on. She even showed you that when she walked out of this pocket reality to tell people, leave her alone. And when a person tell you something like that, just leave me alone, she at the verge of just gonna blow everything up. Like, she gonna snap. She like at the point about to snap, like, you know, when that twig is about to pop and then you steady fucking with her, oh, excuse my language, but you messing with her, and then all of a sudden pop. That's what they're on the verge of when they trying to help her. It's actually what I like to call counterproductive, right? They should take a better assessment of what the situation that's going on, because of, they say, oh, she stole Vision body. Now, I knew all this was going, you know, I'm not gonna say I knew. That's, if I had to write it, that's the way I would have wrote it. I would have wrote it, she got Vision body. That's the missing person, the mix, who they sent Monica Rambeau to go find out about this missing person. And then you have the dude off of Ant-Man, I can't think of his name, but the FBI agent. You know, he a really cool dude. I like his role. You know what I'm saying? They need to build him up and have him more prideful, and then more respectful. Like, you can start respecting him more because he started doing things that make you like, yeah. But anyway, so when I seen that, it was like, okay, Wanda Maximoff, she knew this herself. But the part that caught my attention is when she was talking to Vision. They was going head to head and it was back and forth, and she controlling this reality. Is when she said she don't know how this happened, what's going on in this reality, and why they there. But she happy that they there, and then she happy, so she want to continue on living her perfect life. Why not live the life that you want to live? Live your best life is what she trying to say, and everybody on the outside is trying to fuck it up. That's how it is in real life. Like, you trying to live your own little pocket reality, your own life, and then somebody on the outside trying to fuck it up because they feel like your life should be like their life, or you should be doing this here, or you should have this here, or you should, you know, all that type of stuff. And you could be happy in your own environment, doing your own thing in your own pocket reality. So I can understand how Wanda Maximoff feel right now. But as her being the actual ultimate villain, I don't think so. But at the same time, it's a possibility, because she made it inadvertently created this reality and don't know that she did it, and now she invested in it, and the people that she's saying that on the outside that she telling to bag off, leave her alone, that she doing whatever she doing, that they gonna destroy and mess up her own bubble, and that's when she gonna bust and pop. And that's when I seen on the previews her and Vision is saying, let's protect our home. So I'm thinking it's gonna be more to this, and I think that the dude that's sending in everything, he have more of a stake in it than he let on to know. And I believe that Wanda, probably this whole area that they have, this pocket reality, is setting separate from anything else, but from the fact of when Vision break them back and they say, oh, help me, I'm lost and stuff like that, then I think that Vision is going to persuade her into letting the people go, and they can have their own world, and they can coexist together and raise their kids, and their brother that they pull from a different universe could be able to stay. They Vision gonna try to persuade her to start doing it in that form of matter, and then the FBI and the SWORD agents gonna come fuck it up when Vision be right there at the verge of fixing it by a simple talk, and then they come trying to forcefully push their way into her pocket reality after she gonna do something, and that's when Vision say, let's protect our home from these intruders, and that's when he gonna get a because, you know, he gonna fall on the side of his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. Yeah, his wife now. So me, I'm in that boat too. If I go to the club with you, I follow with you, you know, and at the same time, it's not about right or wrong. Is if you, as long as you know what you're doing, I'm with it. Like if you know that you're doing something that's wrong, just say, yeah, I know that it's wrong, but this is what I'm doing. A lot of people don't have that concept, right? If a person get that concept, they have a better look at reality and leave people in their own bubble doing their own thing alone. Well, this your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I appreciate you for coming rock with me, man. Forget what everybody else say. WandaVision is the shit. It's not the House of M, and I'm tired of people comparing this to a comic book. Stop comparing WandaVision to the comic book. I do not want a rehash and a retelling of the same old stories. Give me something different, and be in mind, this got to meet the mass. The comic books is strictly for the comic book people. Now, the TV universe have to reach the mass. So please leave me alone with that House of M. It pulls some of the features, but it's not House of M. Man, it's your boy Triple Cup Chuck. Man, come fuck with me. I'm out. Let's do this. Diving, all that good shit. WandaVision. WandaVision. Like Candyman. I'm going to say it 5 times again. Nope. No, I ain't. Fuck all that. Peace.